Dan the Wheelman here, and my very special guest today is this. This is the 2025 Mini Cooper JCW 3-door. Long name, short wheelbase. It's the most powerful 3-door Mini you can get with a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, front-wheel drive of course, and a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. Fortunately, there is no manual option, which is too bad. Anyway, this is a very cool-looking thing, 18-inch wheels. I love the stripes on the hood. That's very Mini. The red mirror caps are cool too, although I'd rather have the Union Jack, which I think is an option, or at least used to be. And even maybe the Union Jack on the roof too, matched by some details inside as well. Either way, it looks cool. It looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. So let's get to it. One of the first things I notice upon sitting in here is actually how surprisingly roomy it is up front. Lots of headroom, legroom's pretty good, hip room, shoulder room, all of that. This is a Mini after all. It's got a very high roof and a pretty low seating position, so you get the good headroom. Back seat's a different story. This is a back seat meant mainly for pets or kids with no legs, maybe. There really is not a lot of legroom back there. Headroom is okay. It's not too bad, but not a lot of legroom. Back when the Mini used to have, I mean, I understand, when Mini came out in 1959, the big deal was that they fit so much into such a small package. You know, that was before subcompact cars were even really a thing. It was a pretty big deal to be able to have that much fuel efficiency, that much ease of use around town, and that much space inside. Now, however, there's so many small cars around this size that cost a lot less than this that provide more space. Seat space in particular. So I go, why have the back seat? I remember back when there was the Mini Cooper Roadster and the Cooper Coupe that didn't have any back seats. And to me, for the modern Mini, that made the most sense. Because if I'm going to move adults around regularly, I'm not going to buy a Mini. I'm just not going to bother. So the back seat is stuck, but you can fold the seat backs down, 60-40 split to fit more stuff back there, and there is underfloor storage, which I appreciate. Up front, though, it's really nice. The seat is comfortable, plus it looks really cool with this kind of like synthetic leather / cloth finish I've got on there. You can kind of see it. A lot of the materials in here are recycled. There's a checkered flag motif on the dash. There's some weird stuff, like this weird like fake strap on the dash and another one on the wheel. The third wheel spoke is a nylon strap, which I don't really understand. There's probably some historical significance there, but I don't really know what it is. But it's pretty, it's low clutter in here. Almost everything's done through this big 19-inch touch display, which we'll talk more about in a minute. And the storage is pretty good. I've got this kind of unique, this little storage cubby here. It's like a little mini bin that actually looks removable, but it isn't. But that's your center storage. There's nothing under the arm here. Your wireless charger is here, and it's got an elastic strap on it, so you can like pin your mobile device in there. It doesn't slide around. That's really smart. Behind that, couple of cup holders. And then you've got the bin I mentioned. Pretty cool. If you don't want to charge wirelessly, you've got 2 USB-C ports here as well. And we've got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. All pretty good. Seats, like I said, they look cool and they're comfortable. And not only that, they have massagers built into them. A seat massager in a Mini. What a time to be alive. For 2025, the Cooper JCW makes 228 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque from its turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. That's a jump of almost 50 pound-feet of torque over the last Cooper JCW, so that's pretty cool. The mid-range Cooper S is 201 horsepower, and you go to the Cooper C down to about 160. So this is obviously the most powerful version of the Cooper currently available. This is a proper go-kart with 4 doors. Honestly, like, this thing zips through traffic, no problem. The steering is super responsive. The way they've tuned the chassis and suspension helps with that as well, although we're going to talk more about that in just a minute here. And the short wheelbase really helps. This is a little Mini Cooper. This is a 3-door. Ride in town, even though I've got mechanical adaptive dampers here. At the best of times, somewhat stiff. At the worst of times, the feeling that there's no suspension whatsoever in this car. It's pretty harsh on the bumps. That might be a little harsh of an assessment, but like I said, I'm finding myself having to kind of prepare for some pretty rattling bumps over stuff that would not upset other vehicles in this segment, especially the main competition from the likes of the Golf R and so on. You get a dip even more than 2 inches, you're going to feel it. It is super firm in the city, super firm. I only have the option of 18-inch wheels in Canada. You can get 17-inch items on this vehicle in the US, and you can get 17-inch wheels lower down the range in Canada, but not here. I think I'd actually probably go with a smaller wheel if I had the choice. I think that would smooth out the ride. The bands of rubber around these 18-inch wheels that do look good, they do look good. There just isn't that much travel or play in the super tight elastic bands that are wrapped around these wheels. What do you need big wheels for in a Mini? It's supposed to be a lightweight little go-kart thing. You don't need big wheels for that. I'd go down to a 17. That's what I do. Maybe if you play nice with your dealer, they'll find you some for your JCW. That'd be my recommendation. I do have super, very sticky Continental tires on here though, which is nice for grip, but they're not that soft. So it's a pretty firm vehicle in town. Hopefully that'll all dissolve once we get into the kind of road this car is meant to excel on. This display, they stuff a lot on there. Since it's round, it's not your natural kind of way of making the most out of a surface. When you have CarPlay active, it does appear as a square in the middle. Okay, that's cool. But otherwise, it's round, so you've got a lot of kind of strangely placed icons that are a little small, even on the CarPlay. The main icons on CarPlay, okay, but the ones at the bottom there, your hotkeys, those are a little small on this one here. I'm not a huge fan of that. And a lot has to be done, not through this, but through Mini app. I don't have a Mini account. I don't own a Mini. I don't plan on setting up a Mini account. So every time I get in here, I have to repair my Bluetooth. And not only do I have to reconnect my phone every time, I have to redo all my settings. I've got to change my volume back to where it was. I have to change my climate control system back to where it was using this touch screen slider thing, which I don't love. I've got to readjust the heads-up display. It's always too high, so half off the screen when I get in. And just, again, if I had a Mini ID and I own one of these, a lot of this would go away, but I don't want to have to own an ID to fully enjoy my car. Also bothered me is the locking system. It's too automated. Out of the car, you go to the passenger door to open up to get your bag off the seat, locked. Go to open the trunk, locked. You have to re-unlock everything once you stop the car and park it to be able to open it. Even if you have your key on you. Unless I'm doing something wrong, but I don't think so. I poured through these menus. I found a way to make it not lock as I walk away, which was happening too quickly in my opinion, so it's not doing that anymore, so that's good. But all the other stuff happens. I still haven't got used to having to come around and reactivate my key fob to unlock the trunk after I park. Yeah, I could do it through here, but I shouldn't have to do that either. Some of these cars are just too smart for their own good, and this isn't only a Mini thing. I've had key issues with a lot of things, especially EVs. So while it's kind of a bit bumpy in the city, out here on the highway, it's nice and solid feeling. I have it in like a normal, well, there is no normal because there's like 8 different modes, none of which are called normal. I guess I'm in core. I guess that's the closest thing you'll have to normal. So I'm in normal drive mode here. The steering is really solid. It's not too nervous. It's not getting blown around by crosswinds. And again, why would it? It's so low to the ground. But it's a pretty broad shape. It's like a box. So that's nice. It tracks really well through here. It's not too loud in the cockpit. That surprised me, even through those hard wheels and tires that I talked about in the city. I'm not getting too much road noise, which is nice. And when I get on it, you get that nice kind of offbeat warble, which increases in intensity if you activate one of the more kind of committed drive modes. Let's go to go-kart mode, because there's a couple cool things happen when you do that. Listen close. Woohoo! I don't know if you heard that, but hopefully you did. This gives you a little woohoo when you activate it. And now you've got, yes, a louder exhaust, quicker throttle response, quicker shifting. The steering might be a little heavier feeling, but it's not so obvious to me, but the throttle is definitely more responsive. And of course, it changes the main display as well, which is pretty cool. If you want to get a more obvious tack, like a more traditional sort of quasi-circular tack, you tap the top of the display here. That gives you both a circular speedometer and kind of a tack that's a half circle. So you do get a tack, but you have to activate it once you activate go-kart mode. Okay, so this is where I hope to have all of that stuff about a firm ride in town and the computer glitches just totally forgotten. We're on a nice winding road now, and this is where this vehicle is supposed to excel. I've got it in go-kart woohoo mode, or woohoo go-kart mode. I've got it in sport in the transmission, but I've actually got it in manual. I'm using the flappy paddles here, and it is great. Yeah, a bit rainy, which is unfortunate, but still, I'm not gonna be able to go all out here, but it is so grippy through here. There is no limited slip diff. They've got torque vectoring through the brakes though, so that helps swing you through turns a little bit. So you don't have a limited slip diff, but holy moly, it sounds good. Some popping as you downshift and you lay off the throttle, and just there it goes, super fast transmission that just reacts instantaneously to your commands. That's the beauty of a dual clutch. This is really the environment that a dual clutch transmission sings, and it is so much fun through here. And all that stuff with the rough ride stuff, you don't. I don't feel it here. I don't feel like I'm being sent across the road through because of the overly firm suspension at all. It's keeping nice and straight, tracking well. It's a little bouncy as you can see from the video, but holy moly, is it ever responsive. The steering rack is amazing. This car is just so much fun to drive. It's amazing what Mini's been able to wring out of a front-wheel drive platform like this. I mean, a Miata, you know, is going to feel good. It's a roadster, rear-wheel drive, you know, but this one here is a front-wheel drive hatch. It just feels just as involving as an MX-5 does. Absolutely. And more power than MX-5 has. So that's great. And Golf GTI, forget it. Nowhere near as exciting as this to drive. The Golf R is getting there, but it's still more insulated than this. This is really a no-holds-barred hot hatchback, this JCW. And on a road like this, I am all about that. One thing though, and this does go back again to the interfaces here in the heads-up display, no gear shift indicator on the heads-up display. Only on here, sorry, gear position indicator. That's only on here. So I've got to look over here to know if I'm in which gear I'm in. That matters because there's 7 gears here and you can lose tracks, especially when you're banging through them sequentially like this. It'd be nice to have that right there on the HUD. Maybe it's configurable. If it is and you know and I don't, let me know in the comments and I'll stand corrected to that. But it's a little bit unfortunate, a little bit much to have to look that way to see what gear I'm in. So at the end of the day, where are we then with the JCW? It is a fantastic drive. This thing for 53, 55 grand, whatever it is, it's about 55, it drives really well. It doesn't have as much power as a Golf R, which costs around the same as this doesn't, has more space inside, so keep that in mind. But it drives so well, it's so responsive, very go-kart-like, and that's just so much fun to be able to wind it through turns like that, as I showed you on that windy road. Very good response. The powertrain's good, 2-liter turbo, 4-cylinder, perfect for this car. This is the most Mini, and I'm down with that because if I'm buying a Mini, as I said before, my favorite Mini of all time was the Cooper Coupe or the Cooper Roadster, either one of those two with no back seats, kind of bulldog stance. That to me is what a Mini in the modern day is all about. And this is as close as you're gonna come to that. And they've done a pretty good job of, or a pretty good facsimile of that older version of the car with this one. The chassis is committed, the powertrain is on board, down with all that. You have to deal with some around town harshness for sure. There's the computer bugaboos that I did mention, which again, probably go away if you own one of these and you get used to it. You do have to deal with all that, but if you want something big and with a better, more comfortable ride, buy a Golf, or go buy a GTI, go buy a Golf R, go buy maybe even a GR Corolla. Like, if you want that, that's the way you can go. But if you want something like a real go-kart for the road, one that puts handling and balance and momentum above all else, the Mini Cooper JCW hits the target, bullseye, for sure. And that's great. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to this quick look at the 2025 Mini Cooper JCW 3-door. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. If not, no hard feelings, of course. You can find me on Blue Sky at Dan the Wheelman, on Instagram at Dan the Wheelman, and of course, keep it locked to the Dan the Wheelman YouTube channel. Always a ton of fun new stuff going up here, there, and everywhere. So thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you guys soon. Sayonara, folks.